YouTube sucks my balls. YouTube sucks my balls. YouTube suck on my big fat balls because you suck big fat balls. YouTube sucks big fat stinky wiener dick balls and their mom is a big fat biatch. That's right, YouTube, your mom is a big fat stinky fucking freaking ditty seeking motherfucking titty sucker two bomb bitch. Got a ping pong pussy like a son of a bitch. And I'm motherfucking got a titty like glass. And every time I look at you, remind me of an ass cocksucker motherfucker titty sucker. Fuck you, YouTube. Kiss my fucking ass, bitch. That's how we're gonna start today's show. So the last stream got shut down, and now I have to pretend that the last stream that got shut down never happened, and I have to go back and talk about everything that I just talked about all over again. So basically here on YouTube when I'm live streaming, and then I start saying too many true things in a row, they freeze up the stream and just make it start buffering and get all shitty. And I have to wait. But this last time, no matter what, it just stayed shitty. Pisses me off, dude. And guess what? And then I checked over while I was resetting it up. They just took away 5 subs. Yep, just took away 5 subs for that. Now I know what you guys will say. No, that's just people just not liking you. Well, then fuck you then, man. Every goddamn time I get on this stupid shit now, all they want to do is screw me over. Oh, some random guy hits me with a copyright strike for an NFL video? Well, that's awesome. So I had to go through the process of beating that. Fire up this last stream. Oh, they're going to shut me down right when I get on a roll. Just pissing me off. So now I have to pretend all that shit didn't happen, and I have to act like I'm in a fucking wonderful mood. All right, you guys ready to party? Yay! Let's fucking do it again. So do we live in a computer simulation? Yeah, I think so. I had a plane fly right over me. See, I told the story in a much better fashion, and then they shut me down. So now I got to retell the fucking story because YouTube's a fucking bitch cocksucker. Fuck you. So basically, I was in Monterey having a great time, and I said how clear the sky was, and there were no chemtrails. And just then, a fucking plane flew right over my head. The second I said that, a low-flying plane, making me feel like I was Truman in the Truman Show, thus making me wonder if we're in some sort of computer simulation. So I wanted to discuss if we're in a computer simulation or not. But of course, when I try and discuss this on YouTube, oh, they shut that shit down. Can't have Jake ask a fucking question on YouTube. No. Yes, guys, I'm back and I'm pissed off. I'm so pissed off at this fucking platform. The way they treat a content creator like myself fucking pisses me off. And somehow I have to pretend that none of that shit bothered me and put on another video. And then people are going to go watch this. They're going to be like, man, you're in a terrible mood. I don't like you anymore. Nah. Just can't win for winning or losing. So, this is my second attempt to do this, and this is the one people are going to watch, and then they're not going to like it because I'm in a shitty mood now. Well, why am I in a shitty mood? It's because my last stream got fucking shut down when I was already in a roll, and now I got to go back and re-talk about the same goddamn thing that I just fucking talked about. Do we live in a computer simulation? Do you guys think so? I sometimes kind of think so. Well, what does that mean? Well, then it means maybe there's no God. Well, Jake, there has to be a God because Jesus in the Bible and it makes me feel special. Yeah, well, if a computer's in control, well, then what the hell does that say about your Jesus? And why is it that the evil elites are the ones who can fucking predict everything and control this goddamn world? If there is this wonderful, awesome God. So if there's a wonderful, awesome God who put us here and the world is beautiful, then why are there shitty, nasty, evil people in control? And why does it feel like there's a fucking evil robot AI above us who wants to fucking ruin our lives and kill us? Huh? Why did God want to put us here so that we can have AI robots make profiles of us and keep tabs on us and paint us out as domestic terrorists? Yeah, that's the word that shut me down last time. They're going to have all this AI around us, listen to everything we say and do, videotape everything we say and do, so that they can paint out people like me who just ask simple questions and make simple statements about the world around me. Suddenly they make guys like me, maybe you, out to be domestic terrorists because you question the mainstream narrative. And that's what's got me fired up and pissed off, really, is that there seems to be laws that are being put into place to destroy me and who I am and what I'm about. And basically that trickles down to you. So I see laws getting put into place saying that, like, oh, well, if you go against the mainstream narrative, if you go against what mainstream news says, and you provide alternate news, which they deem to be disinformation or misinformation, then that makes you a domestic terrorist. Pretty much. If you even ask the question, do we live inside a computer simulation? Is the queen actually a real woman? I mean, you ask any sort of regular just question, and suddenly it's like you're not only labeled as crazy, but also domestic terrorist. So I look at my future and I'm like, looks like all the legislation and everything in place is set up to make me out to be the crackpot crazy domestic terrorist when I'm literally just the dude on YouTube asking some regular questions about this crazy world we live in. Thank you, Tony, for the dollar super chat. So, as I was saying before I got shut down last time, your phone's always listening to you. Your TV's watching you and listening to you. Alexa's listening to you. So all these gadgets and gizmos that you surround yourself are always recording you, building a profile of you. So who is this profile for? Is it for the evil elites to keep track of you? Is it for the supercomputer to keep track of you? Who's in charge of who? Do the evil elites run a supercomputer AI, or is AI in control of the evil elites and in running them as puppets? So that's my question. At the tippity top of the Illuminati pyramid, is it just evil people? Is there just evil people? Or is it something else? The devil himself. Well, what form does the devil himself come in? Is the devil a supercomputer in this case? Marijuana community says they steal my ideas. Yeah, I've had ideas too that then I see happen, and it feels like they extracted your idea from your head. You have a brilliant idea, and then you see it on TV a week later or a month later, and you feel like somebody zapped your idea out of your head. And so I've had moments in my life that defy coincidence. This life can't be a total coincidence because I've had too many moments that defy this life being just a total random roll of the dice. And so, I have to ask ourselves, are we in some sort of computer simulation and we are the human organic material being used in this simulation? And we have a giant computer using us, the human organic material, so that it can figure out what it wants to know. So let's say a computer can't teach itself uh, what organic matter will do in certain circumstances. So we are the organic matter in this giant computer simulation. So if we're in a giant computer simulation, what the hell is the computer doing with us and why? And then that's kind of a scary thought, because then you have your gods basically taken out of the situation. Now you can actually have your god removed, and now you think maybe it's a computer, an evil computer in control of you, and you're in some sort of hyper realistic video game. And that's kind of a scary thought. And so I've never bowed down to one religion specifically or another and said that's it, that's all it can be. And I know there's a lot of Christians out there who have made up their mind, and so they got their book. You got your book and you got your beliefs. But at the end of the day, we haven't had any gods come down and attempt to save us. I've heard some so-called Christians tell me that Donald Trump is sent by God and that he's going to save us. Bah! Yeah. So there's people out there who consider themselves Christians, and they believe that their God's going to come back and save us. But they all believe he comes in different formats. So there are some people that believe Donald Trump is the second coming of God. He's going to come back and save us. There's people who want to believe that someone or something is going to come save you. What if nothing is going to save you? What if in this computer simulation there is no magical savior coming to save you? That's a dark thought. A lot of people don't want to face that thought, including me. But I wouldn't be a real truther if I didn't discuss it with you. So I don't believe for a second that any politician is on our side. I think all the politicians are controlled, scumbags. Furthermore, I think they all need to be removed. And so when I see what's happening over in Canada, let's say, I don't see anybody physically removing anyone in power. I see a lot of Canadians like partying, honking horns, chanting. Looks like fun, but I don't see any politicians being yoinked out of office. So until we see politicians actually physically removed, if the Canadians were actually like removing these tyrants and then decapitating them out on the streets, let's say, well, then maybe I perhaps might get a little more excited. But I can find you footage of people basically treating it like it's just a big party and they're just drinking alcohol around dumpster fires and listening to music, honking horns, waving flags. And so it seems that the ones in control are not only playing by a script, but they have the script down so much so that they're even giving it away to us. They're even handing us the script in some circumstances and showing us glimpses of what's going to happen to us through their Hollywood movies and TV shows and stuff. And so you have to ask, is it really a cabal of evil humans doing all this? Is it really just a cabal of really evil rich people who are making our lives appear to be an actual evil movie? Like they're controlling our lives and turning our lives into a Hollywood cinema of sorts? Is it really just evil people, or is it an evil computer? Got a donation from LA Meth Witch. Says, Jake, may I please get a wrench? Possibly.
Mr. Chris7582 says, "Where does good or evil come from in a computer simulation? There wouldn't be a such thing as good or bad. It would just be. It would just be. Normal people are born with morality. The elites and demons are not." Well, see, we are the organic material in this simulation. I can't quite figure it out myself. See, that's why it bothers me. Is like, how do all these coincidences happen to me? Like when I was in Monterey, and the second I said the word chemtrail, a low flying plane shot over my head. And it was on camera, so you guys can see it. You know, I'm not making up a story. I'm not talking about a plane way up there. I'm talking about a low flying plane basically came right at my head. And I was like, what the hell, on camera, while I said, hey, look, the sky's so clear. There's not a single chemtrail. It was like, wow. And so I have to think of all these different coincidences. And not just that. For instance, one time I was tripping out on mushrooms. I was tripping out on mushrooms and I saw this flower pattern. Maybe you guys have seen this flower pattern if you've ever tripped out really hard. So I was like, when I closed my eyes, I could see this flower pattern. And then days later, let's say weeks later, maybe a month later, I'm walking rusty at a park. I go inside of a public bathroom, and inside the public bathroom, some artist has painted the flower that I saw when I was tripping. How in the flying fuck is that possible that some artist out there saw the same flower, decided to paint it? They painted it in a random men's bathroom at a park. I come along, a guy who's tripped and seen that thing in my head, and I see this, like when I walk in the door, this flower that an artist has painted. So I have to be like, wow, there's an artist out there who had the exact same trip as me, and he painted it, and then I found his artwork in this bathroom. And why the hell did he choose a random men's bathroom? Furthermore, I walk over to the women's bathroom to see if anything's painted in there. Nothing painted in the women's bathroom. So at this park, a public park in Sacramento, I found an art in a men's bathroom, and it wasn't even that good, but it's the flower that I saw when I was tripping. And so I've heard other people talk about a life flower. So there are certain things that we can all experience. We might all be able to experience in one way or another. Let's say if you're under the influence of the right drugs at the right time, you might have a vision or a hallucination that absolutely matches specifically somebody else's vision or hallucination. And so stuff like that makes me lean towards some sort of crazy matrixy computer simulation rather than it just being like one religion's portrayal of creation. So the Bible's version of creation versus other religious books' version of creation versus us living a computer simulation. Well, there's a lot of stuff there to ponder, and I'm not the type of guy that can make up my mind so easily one way or the other and say, oh, well, for sure it has to be this. And so basically, between like seeing that flower, for instance, and then having, while I was in Monterey, the plane fly right over my head like I was in a movie, like I was Truman in that instance. The fact that I'm the one dude in the entire world who said, come cough in my face. Come cough in my face and I'll prove that the C word, spiky ball disease, isn't real. Come cough in my face. The fact that I'm that one dude in the world. And I also happen to run into All Gas No Brakes, and just so happen to go viral on his channel and have everyone see exactly what I wanted them to see. And still, they're all so blind and so retarded that they didn't understand what I proved. I proved to everybody that there is no spiky ball disease. There never was. It's a total hoax. I proved it. I told people to come cough in my face. They removed the videos from my channel. yet they let the video stand over on All Gas No Brakes channel. So it's totally okay when I have people cough in my face and they're making fun of me on All Gas No Brakes channel. But over here on the asshole channel, I got community guideline strikes because I had footage of me having people cough in my face. Well, why? They're coughing in my face. And did I ever get sick? No, I did not. So I am living proof that I challenged this hoax. I challenged it in a way that no other human being did, because I was so confident at my place here in this simulation or video game or divine creation of existence. I felt so strongly in my existence that I was positive I was not going to get sick and die. And so I had zero fear when I let people come cough directly in my face. And so when I think how many other human beings did anything like that, you have all these supposed freedom warriors in Canada, and a lot of them are doing what? Honk, honk, honk! Canada, oh Canada, gonna drink my beer tonight. And Canada for Canada, and Canada is my home. Honk. So you have a lot of people out there thinking that they're stopping the tyrants by drinking and having dumpster fires, singing a national anthem that was made up by the tyrants, pretty much. Meanwhile, you have a guy like me getting shadow banned and buried anytime I even start to get on a roll and discuss these topics. I get shadow banned and I get buried. YouTube gives me strikes. They minus my subscribers on a daily basis. Meanwhile, there's people who can post a 30-second clip of honking horns in Canada. Oh, and they go viral. So YouTube wants you to see honking horns in Canada. They'd have no problem with that. Totally. If they had a problem with it, they would censor it or down throttle it, shadow ban it. Oh, but they don't do that. Except when I talk about it. That's when they shadow ban it and down throttle it. When I talk about the Canadian convoy, I get the least amount of views I've ever gotten. How about that? I talked about the Canadian convoy recently, and I got the least amount of views ever. Meanwhile, I look at other people talking about the Canadian convoy, and they're just blowing up nonstop. Like YouTube is like, let it rain on these guys. Meanwhile, I talk about the Canadian convoy seems to be set up, doesn't seem to be completely organic or grassroots, and they're like, let's cut this guy off and bury him to his own audience. So, again, I'm left to wonder with all the magical coincidences that have happened to me. Some of them, like I said, are too mind-blowing for it to be coincidence in my book. So I'm the guy living inside this body, and so when I come across these coincidences, sometimes the only way I can rationalize this is, okay, I'm Truman in the Truman Show. If I'm Truman in the Truman Show, then who the hell set this whole damn thing up? And are there multiple Trumans? Are you guys also Truman in your own Truman Show? How many Trumans are there? Because I've seen people who appear to be NPCs, right? These non-player controlled players, right? They're basically zombie people. You see these zombie people? They're just like, they cruise by you in Walmart or at the supermarket or wherever, going into the gas station. So you see these zombie people, these NPCs walking around, and you think in your head, no, okay, that's not even a real person anymore. It's like not even a real life. How many people left with a soul that actually care? actually care enough about their own body, actually care enough about their own soul. There's people out there that don't even believe in a soul, so they don't give a shit about selling it away. They don't give a shit because they don't believe in it to begin with. And so, am I one of the lucky ones or the cursed ones who was born with a soul in a world of soulless zombie robots? And if so, why? What is my purpose here? Me, Jake, the truth warrior, the asshole, what am I supposed to do here besides point and make fun of these people? So I'm stuck with these talents of being a comedian and a musician, and it's like, well, I can make jokes about it and I can make music about it, but can I personally fix this problem? Can I be the one that goes and physically removes the tyrants for you guys on your behalf? Me alone? No. So when I wake up and think, how am I going to battle this giant computer or these evil elites? I'm still stuck with a question mark, because at the end of the day, I'm a musician and a comedian, and those two formats are also controlled. So, for instance, here on YouTube, I'm shadow banned and gate kept, and then in Hollywood, you got to be part of their club if you want to be in their satanic movies. You got to be part of their club if you want your record to sell millions and millions of copies. Mr. Chris 7582 says, how come people that sell their soul get rich? They're given an offer. They're given an offer by elite men, or elite people, I should say, because there can be elite women too, but mostly it's men, or entities. Maybe they aren't even people. So we have to think also that at the tippity top is not people, but some other type of being that's not quite human, or maybe a human hybrid being of sorts, or maybe it's actually the devil. See, it's very confusing when you don't know. So as far as selling your soul to get rich, it is documented by the people who've done it. So, such as Snoop Dogg has lyrics that specifically describe selling his soul to become famous. And it was the lyrics I can remember off the top of my head. The devil says to Snoop, "Bring your lifestyle to me, I'll make it better." He says, "Bring your lifestyle to me, I'll make it better." And then Snoop asks, "How long will I live?" And the devil says, "Eternal life and forever." And then Snoop says, "How will I be the G that I was?" And then the devil says, "I'll make your life even greater than you can imagine or even dreamed of. Close your eyes, my son." And Snoop says, "My eyes are closed." Murder! Murder was the case that they gave me. So then he beats his murder rap and then goes on to be this gigantic star, still to this day performing at the Super Bowl. So you have these old gangster rappers who were popular back when I was in 7th grade. So these guys were popular a long time ago, like over 20 years ago. And they bring them back for the satanic Super Bowl. And when you look at who's on stage, you got, first off, Eminem up there. That's not even the same dude anymore. So this crooked cabal will lie to everyone's face and say that that's Eminem up there performing. That wasn't Eminem. That's some dude who's like 10 years younger than Eminem. So they have some dude pretending to be Eminem. He looks like a Las Vegas look-alike. Like you can go to Las Vegas and see a look-alike Michael Jackson and a look-alike, Elvis Presley. It's the Las Vegas look-alike Eminem. he look-alike Eminem, but it's not the real Eminem. And it's like, yo, you have a dream that you got one chance to lose yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you never let it go. Mom spaghetti, you know, get up. It didn't even look or feel like Eminem. So not only does it not look like Eminem, it doesn't feel like Eminem. And that's to me the signature of your authenticity, who you are, whether or not you are who you are, it's your aura. So basically, somebody can pretend to be Elvis, but they're an Elvis impersonator. They're not the actual Elvis, right? You can pretend to be Michael Jackson, but you weren't the actual, real, original Michael Jackson. So in this case, it's the same thing to me as an Elvis impersonator. You got the Eminem impersonator during the halftime show. And then you have Snoop, who sold his soul. And you have Dr. Dre, who also sold his soul. And they were called out as being studio gangsters by Eazy-E. And so they got rid of Eazy-E. Eazy-E, of course, dies from AIDS. And we know that that's bullshit, right? That's a hoax. And so when you look at just the rap ceremony during the satanic rigged Super Bowl, and we'll get to the Super Bowl in a minute too, it's hilarious that they're using gangster rappers, because gangster rap is actually set up by rich, evil white men. They wanted to get black people to shoot each other and commit more crimes. Yeah, did you know that? Gangster rap didn't come from tough hood gangsters. No, most of the gangster rappers from the West Coast were studio gangsters. And so these studio gangsters like Snoop and Dr. Dre, Tupac, and Ice Cube, they glorified gang violence so that the black men who would watch that music and listen to that music would actually go out and commit more crimes and thus fill up the prison systems. Now, before that, before gangster rap, Dr. Dre had permed hair and lipstick. It's because black people before that were jiving like in disco-y type clubs. They were making dance music. So basically, black people used to get together and dance and have fun, and then the white man, I shouldn't say the white man. I should say the evil elite record owner, record producer. They came along, tricked these dudes into playing a part. And they say, hey, we'll make you rich, but you got to pull your pants down and you got to like wave around this gun and you got to pretend that you're going to shoot people and stuff and rap about shooting people. So they popularized this music, which is basically a psyop in and of itself. And that was my favorite music at the time. And so it's bittersweet for me to find out guys like Tupac were feminine ballet dancers and classically trained actors, because I used to think Tupac was a legitimate thug life gangsta, and now come to find out, no, he was a classically trained actor, a feminine ballerina, totally not a thug gangsta. And so it's bittersweet because it was my favorite type of music. So all these years later, to see these old ass dinosaurs on stage, Snoop and Dr. Dre, it was kind of a trip in and of itself, because it's like, holy crap, I used to listen to this music when I was in 7th grade, and here these dudes are still at the rigged satanic Super Bowl with the fake Eminem. So basically these guys, they know that that's not the real Eminem. They're in on it, and they don't come out and tell you. So to me, they're in on the deception with that just as much as the fake Eminem is deceiving people. And then here's one for you that's going to blow your mind. They had 50 Cent show up at the Super Bowl. You guys remember 50 cents? 50 Cent? 50 Cent, 50 cents. So he showed up. Here's who might be 50 Cent. You guys ready? 50 Cent might not be an actual person. 50 Cent might have been a deep fake the entire time. 50 Cent is Mike Tyson. $50, Mike Tyson. Somebody made that connection, and then I ran it through my thinker, and it actually makes sense. Mike Tyson sold his mansion to 50 Cent. 50 Cent, when he became famous, was still a young man, and who was he dating? This old movie star bitch, Vivica Fox. So he was dating a woman that was like 10 years, 15 years older than him. Who would be dating a woman that old? Mike Tyson would date a woman who's that old. And so if you just look at the similarities with how Mike talks and how 50 talks and just their facial structure, just thinking the possibility that we could be looking at Mike Tyson, because let's face it, Mike Tyson is a lying actor. He's a lying actor because his best buddy Tupac is supposedly murdered. So whenever these guys talk about their best buddy Tupac being murdered, they're lying because Tupac is still alive. A lot of people say it's Akil the MC. So if Tupac is still alive and he's Akil the MC, or he's just still alive playing a part, then that means his best buds, Mike Tyson, Snoop Dogg, these guys, they're in on it, and they're keeping cover for the story that he got gunned down in Las Vegas. So there's a lot of overlap with psyops and actors and deepfakes with these dudes. So if they're going to get rid of the original Eminem and have some imposter play the part of Eminem, it wouldn't be too far out of the realm of possibility to think that Mike Tyson could also be 50 Cent. Okay, so last year we had during the Super Bowl the weekend, and a lot of people say Justin Bieber is playing the part of the weekend. Now, deep fakes are a thing. Some people refuse to admit it. They laugh in your face if you talk about one person playing the part of another. So it's considered in conspiracy circles acceptable to say that Alex Jones was once Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks became Alex Jones. That's considered acceptable. It's also, I guess, acceptable for me to propose that Eminem could be an imposter or Dave Chappelle could be an imposter. But when you start to, like, for the first time, point out somebody and say, hey, this person could be this person from the past, sometimes people just can't handle it, and they don't take 5 seconds to just look at the similarities. And instead, they dismiss you, and they say, bah, you're crazy, you're stupid, ha! Okay, so Mike Tyson happens to sell his mansion to 50 Cent. You never see them two at the same place at the same time. A CDC survivor says 50 Cent's forehead is fake. Yeah, he's just got this really puffy, rubbery, mask-looking face. He does. If you look at 50's face, he's got this really puffy, rubbery, mask-looking face. And then you look at our own president. We're being deep-faked by our own president. So if we live in a country here in the United States where the president isn't actually an old dude, but it's a bunch of different dudes putting on a mask pretending to be an old dude. That's another thing. I 100% believe that Joe Biden is not just one old dude. I believe Joe Biden is being played by a team of actors. I don't think they have one imposter playing the part. I think it's a badge of of acting honor to have played the part of Joe Biden. So, for instance, I think Jim Carrey has played the part of Joe Biden. I think Barack Obama has probably played the part of Biden. I think that at some point or another, you've probably had more than 10 actors play the part of Joe Biden. So I think it's an ongoing running gag to play the part of Joe Biden. Furthermore, you have applications now and computer software now that can generate fake humans, fake faces, as far as pictures are concerned and videos. So if the software is in place that you can generate a fake picture of a person, then why the hell can't they have a fake video of people where it's basically a computer version of a person and it's so good you just can't quite tell? And so they can manipulate your face, let's say, with pixels, and they could take somebody's face and stick it on another person's face off, but without the cosmetic surgery. And so when you look at all the different capabilities that they can do with just computer graphics, all right, and movie editing software and technology, they don't even have to have a Joe Biden be there. They can have computer Joe Biden talk on the screen. So they don't even have to have an actor pretend to be Joe Biden. They can have computer Joe Biden address the nation. They can probably take old footage of someone pretending to be Joe Biden, right? And then cut out all the face animations that he makes, and then have voice software replicate his voice to where you can talk normal and it's going to sound like Joe. To where you could have a normal person talk and read a script, it'll sound like Joe, and then the face be actually CGI manipulated. It's more than possible. And so if our own president here is being deep faked in front of our eyes, if we're being deep faked by a president right now, why the hell is it beyond possibility for Justin Bieber to also be The Weeknd or Mike Tyson to also be 50 Cent? Go start looking at the similarities in some of these people. It's a little too freaky. Successful Endeavor says Juice WRLD still alive. First letter of each song. Juice WRLDs? I'm not sure what you're saying. I missed something, I guess. Juice WRLD still alive. First letter of each song. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Thanks for the donation. Chewy Chicken says Steve Irwin equals John Denver. Yeah, the similarities of how they look are pretty striking. However, there are people out there who do look like other people. And so there is that coincidental factor of some people just look like other people. For instance, the Red Hot Chili Peppers drummer looks exactly like Will Ferrell. So Chad Smith looks exactly like Will Ferrell, but you can't say they're the same person because they've actually done comedy skits together, and they've done it more than once where they show up and pretend to be each other, or they dress the same. And so when you look at Will Ferrell and Chad Smith and just their striking similarities, it's mind-blowing. And so then you have to wonder if there's this elite bloodline and Hollywood is only signing and recruiting people from these elite bloodlines. Furthermore, I got a couple donations come in. Mike with a donation. Thanks, Mike. Mr. Chris 7582 says, doesn't the fact they want people's souls prove an afterlife or some type of God? Yes, good point. And furthermore, I have smoked DMT and basically felt like I left this realm and went to the afterlife. And I felt like I got to experience the afterlife. And what I came away with was that when I die, I'm not actually, it's not going to be this sad, terrible event where my body's extinguished forever or something, or my soul is extinguished. So actually, I get to like go on and have this magical experience in the afterlife, and I got to experience a little piece of it, or at least I think I did, the last time I smoked DMT, which was like almost 2 years ago. So it's been almost 2 years since I had my experience where I went out to the river and smoked a giant hit of DMT. And it made me feel like basically that I became God, I turned into God, and I got to experience um, what it was like to feel like I am the creator. And I jumped in the water and swam in the river while I was tripping my balls off and hallucinating. And it was quite the experience. And it left me, once I finally came out of it, with this sense of, of, of infinite. Like I am infinite. When I die, I'm not really going to die. I'm just going to like transform over to that realm and live over in the DMT afterlife for a while, maybe get assigned a new body somewhere else in some other time or dimension. Who knows? So I always thought that this is a magically created realm for us, magically and divinely created. However, I also see all the stuff that the elites are able to predict, and they are all into their numbers and gematria and stuff like that, and their rituals. And so it makes me think that we live some maybe in a computer simulation, and the elites have the script and they know what's going to happen and what the computer's going to do before the computer does it. Or are they just evil people in control and there is no super AI computer? um well, then why do we have movies like Terminator that basically it's a giant AI system in control of humanity? Or The Matrix, of course, a giant computer system in control of humanity. So when you look at the Hollywood movies, and of course we know Hollywood is in cahoots with the evil elites. Evil people run Hollywood, and they forecast what's going to happen to us in their evil movies and TV shows. And so they're privy to the script of what's going to happen. And so, is it a giant computer simulation that the elites know the script of what the computer's going to do to us, or how this game's going to work? Or is it just really evil people who get off on being really evil? And maybe I'm overhyping the existence of this supercomputer, because I personally haven't walked up and physically touched or seen this supercomputer. However, it feels like all this technology around us is here for nefarious reasons rather than for our pleasure, right? And so when you look at a movie like The Matrix, uh, remember when Neo was hooked up to the inside the pod? He had the tubes and the connector things all connected to him. Remember, he had like wires and tubes and shit that were connected to him, and he was inside of this pod. Now, it seems to me that they're getting us closer and closer to willingly stepping inside of a pod and taking an alternate fake form of life over our real life. So I see people basically getting closer and closer to the movie The Matrix and willingly accepting tubes in their mouth to feed them, and an internet cable running into their head so that they can live in virtual reality rather than actual reality. And so when you look at Oculus goggles, for instance, that's one step closer to you stepping inside the Matrix pod, right? So if you wear Oculus goggles and you're looking around and you're like, wow, I'm in this virtual reality. They're getting you used to a virtual world, the metaverse, right? A virtual world where everything around you is basically a computer simulation. So They don't even want you to go out and enjoy the actual physical world. They want you to be in your computer's simulation within your own computers and your own gadgets and gizmos. They want you enthralled and stuck within your own computers. So you have to wonder if it's a giant computer who came up with that idea rather than just an evil person. And then the software itself is getting so advanced, you have to wonder if a giant supercomputer is the one handing over all this technology to the people. Or is it really a bunch of smart people sitting around in labs creating all this stuff? Is it really super smart people who went to school for a long time and they're really smart and all they do is just work on shit inside here? Sometimes it seems these computer chips and the things that these computers do are so highly technical and advanced that no human could have possibly done it. And so it makes me wonder if at the tippity top of technology, is there a computer, a supercomputer, AI handing this technology over to the elites? Because they are the ones who get it first, and then they hand down the dumbed down versions, the civilian versions of that technology to us. Here you go. Here's your tracking device. PJCnet says sent 5 earlier about evil entities and the elite. Here, let me go back and see if I missed it. My bad, buddy. Shoot. Well, I guess I missed it. Sorry about that. If I got on a roll and missed a super chat, I apologize. Oscar David says, Jake, humans make chips. Yeah, but look at how they can keep making them smaller and smaller and smaller and then store everything in there. Meanwhile, back in 1969, when we supposedly went to the moon, we had a computer that was controlling that rocket, weaker than a Game Boy. So we know that the moon landing's bullshit, and that story's bullshit. But if you look at the progression from just playing Oregon Trail on an old Macintosh, remember the old floppy disk Macintosh playing Oregon Trail, and then versus today's video games where you put an Oculus over your face and now you're in an alternate world. The technology's moving at rapid speed, and you look at the fact that like the memory now, you can just stuff so much memory on just these little tiny computer chips. I think they lie to us about how all this stuff's made and where some of this technology comes from, is what I'm saying. I feel like it goes beyond just smart people just sitting around in a lab making it. But there's something maybe even beyond that. That's right, an Oregon Trail reference. How many people were expecting that? Mr. Chris 7582 says, I think it's demons. Faith says back in the 1930s they had fully automated homes. Yeah, but they didn't have super duper computers that we all walked around with a ton of memory that could send messages through the air and send videos through the air, right? Tyler Durden says technology is demonic influence. And then I got a donation from Goga. No message, just a donation. Thank you, Goga, or Gaga. Goga Gaga, however you say it. I appreciate that. Um, God's watching this flat Earth says good sense don't make good sense anymore. Well, that can be true, but at the same time, you also have a PSYOP AE map as your profile pic. So you should probably change that because you're actually promoting a government PSYOP with your profile pic. Yeah, the AE circle map has been debunked over and over again, and all the shills use it, and the Flat Earth cult members who are tard muffins use that map. So if you're still using that map, then you're still promoting the controlled Flat Earth PSYOP with the controlled map. Yeah, well, you can know that. All you got to do is look at where the sun comes up and goes down, and then look at daylight hours, and it just doesn't work at all on that circle map. Furthermore, the distances on the map are wrong, and some of the countries are completely distorted and misshapen. So it's got lots of different problems. Also, all the people who promote it unanimously say that the North Pole is the center, yet not a single one of them has ever been to the North Pole or anywhere near it. So it's like none of them ever go to the North Pole, yet they'll tell you that you can't go to the ice wall because you'll get shot and they'll stop you. But none of them have ever attempted to go to the North Pole and actually prove what they say is there. So you'll get people saying that there's Mount Meru in the middle, yet none of them have ever went and looked and pointed at it and showed us. Or they'll say it's a magnetic pole, yet none of them have ever been there and proven that that's what it is. So really, it's a question mark what's up north. Yet AE mappers will say it's the middle of their map, it's the center of their map, yet none of them have ever been there. But you still have all those old shill bags still promoting and pushing that same map, still doing and saying the exact same shit. Hell, just today I came across old shill-faced Nathan Thompson still pushing the vegan diet, still telling people to go vegan, still pushing the AE map, still pushing the vegan diet. I asked him when the next hit piece documentary he's going to be in is, where he makes Flat Earth look like a bunch of clown shoe potato farts, whatever that means. Geoff Henning says, Jake, no one could ever create a modern iPhone, for instance. There's assembly lines and specialist technology has chronologically progressed, and through supply and demand, the tech keeps improving. Yeah, but then there's, for instance, technology that even they're not quite sure how it works, but they know it works. Oh, also, Super Bowl. I might even do a little bit of a breakdown tomorrow. I might make like a small Super Bowl rigged breakdown. For those of you who actually watched, uh, the NFL is rigged. Hopefully, you've learned by now. And Tyler Durden, thank you for the donation. No message from Tyler Durden, but a $20 donation. I appreciate that. So, if you guys watched the Super Bowl, I watched it so I could see the rigged action and see if anything out of the normal went down. So I watched it as a skeptic and a researcher, not to be entertained. I didn't have a rooting interest. So I also bet on the Bengals with 4.5 points, and so I won. So I took Cincinnati plus 4.5, which makes me a winner. Winner, steak dinner. And I heard a lot of people bitching about how they lost money on the Bengals. And it was like, dude, all the betting sites were offering 4.5 points on the spread. or at least 4 points. So as long as you took the points, then you should have came out a winner. Furthermore, the people that bet on the Rams to cover the Rams failed to cover the spread. So you would have had to have bet on the money line to win money on the Rams. So the actual winner was Bengals plus 4.5, unless you shelled out basically a minus 170 on the Rams on the money line. So if you bet on the money line, you would have had for the Rams, you would have had to throw down $170 just to win $100. Yeah, so I got Bengals at 4.5 plus 4.5. And so I notice a lot of people who don't know jack shit about betting will say stuff like, oh, well, it can't be rigged because everybody bet on the Rams and the Rams won. It's like, well, the Rams failed to cover the spread. So everybody who picked the Rams minus 4.5 or minus 4 lost. All of them. So the winning bet was Rams on the money line or Cincinnati plus the 4.5 or plus 4. And so I won $30 on Cincinnati, and that was as much as I was willing to risk. I wasn't confident, but I took Cincinnati with the 4.5. They barely covered there at the end, and so I won. So I was happy with that. I got my prediction wrong. I predicted the Bengals would win outright, so I got the prediction wrong, but I got my bet right. And since I don't give a flying fart who wins or loses, because I know it's all rigged anyway, I didn't walk away like with my feelings hurt that my team lost or anything like that. So it was decent for me. And I also got to watch that halftime show, and that was semi entertaining to see those old studio gangster rappers on stage still trying to pretend that they're relevant. And the game was obviously rigged. There's several plays where guys are just purposely missing tackles, quarterbacks purposely taking sacks. I'll break down a few plays. There's a bunch of people who've already broke down the rigged Super Bowl. So if you know what to look for, you can type in rigged Super Bowl and you can actually look at the plays. If you watch them in slow motion, you can see that the players are purposely letting guys run past and score. They're purposely missing tackles. You definitely see it in the defense mostly. You'll see defenders running up on a ball carrier, and they'll purposely take a bad angle and let the ball carrier go running by, and they'll try some weak arm tackle, or they'll dive at the guy's feet. I'm seeing a lot of this now too. Defenders diving at guys' feet for no reason. It's like you shouldn't dive at someone's feet unless that's like the last second before they're about to score. They're about to score at the 1 yard line, and that's the last chance you have to push them out of bounds. Then maybe you dive at someone's feet. But now they're having guys like dive at each other's feet for no reason. You're seeing defensive backs just fall down, and running backs just run right on by, even when they don't even juke. So you're having like receivers and running backs who don't juke or don't even put on any moves, making defenders fall down and whiff. Josh Kennedy says Santa Claus is more real than the NFL. Mike G says there was next to no penalty flags. It's the players who are now just full on acting. The players are pretending to play football. So the NFL is the WWE basically. They're allowed to rig their games because it's entertainment. You don't believe that if you think there's too many players and there's no way that somebody would talk about it. Go look up former players Dwight Smith admitting that the NFL is rigged. Former player Larry Johnson admitting that the league is rigged. There's two examples right there. And those guys were legitimate pros for several years. They weren't like some B team third stringers. They weren't practice squad guys. So Super Bowl champion Dwight Smith and Larry Johnson, who is a running back. They both admitted that it's scripted. Also, they have the technology now of magnetic gloves. So, for instance, there was an interception where a Rams player, a Rams receiver, just basically let the ball bounce off of his hands, and he kind of like looks like he's chucking it over to a defender, and then the defender sticks his hand out like this, and it sticks to his hand. So there's a defender, I forget his name, right after halftime. So right after halftime, the Bengals go up and they take the lead with a touchdown. And then on the very next series, you see this Rams receiver basically do this with his hands. Just basically bat the ball up in the air purposely. And then you see the defender for the Bengals just stick one hand out, and it's like sticks right to it. And so if you look into magnetic technology in the gloves and in the ball, you'll find out that they do have the technology, and they do have video examples of this technology where you can put magnets in your glove and in the ball and make those one-handed catches all day long. So that basically someone like you or me could put on these gloves and take this magnetic ball, and we could be making magnetic one-handed catches all day long like it's no problem. And so if that technology exists, and it does, all you have to do is look up a video called Ultimate Reception. They're the company that makes it. And so when you find out that the technology 100% does exist, and there's video footage of people using it, high school players using it and showing you, look, see? Tyler Durden said Bengals +4 +5 or +4.5. And then he has a check mark and a money sign. Hell yeah. So imagine having magnetics and then somebody can turn it off or on. So imagine someone up in a booth can turn a certain player's magnetic gloves on or shut them off. Now, what's the opposite? Magnetic gloves doing the opposite could force the ball to bounce off their hands. See, no one talks about that if you have magnetic gloves, you could also theoretically have the opposite effect and force the ball away from somebody's hands. Boink, see what I'm saying? Make it harder for him to catch it. So in baseball, they admit that they put the balls in a humidifier and that they doctor the balls so that not too many home runs are hit, or that not too many strikeouts happen. So they have to doctor the balls in baseball. They're doctoring the balls in football. So the ball is rigged. Goalposts can be magnetically rigged, right? The gloves can have magnets in them. Gloves are rigged, right? And so between just the magnetics alone and then the players being told beforehand, oh, on this next series, go ahead and let the team score. Go ahead and let these guys score. Then you just start seeing these dudes diving at feet, missing tackles on purpose, and then every single play starts to work. You can tell now when a team's about to get a cupcake touchdown. So once you're privy to how much can be manipulated, they don't need to have the refs screw anyone over. Of course, they still have the refs who can throw a flag whenever they feel like it, or pick a flag up off the ground, change a call, whatever. So they still have refs there that can manipulate the game, but they don't need to, because all the players are basically professional wrestlers now. And why wouldn't the players want to do that? Now they don't have to play as hard. They don't have to practice as hard. And they still get paid money. They still get to be millionaires. So the players don't care. Just like there's plenty of professional wrestlers. They don't mind that it's not a real fight. In fact, they like the fact that it's not a real fight. So if you are a professional football player who's getting paid millions, you don't give a shit if you're not playing legitimate football. So now you get to half-ass it, not practice as hard, not give a shit. make your millions, and go home. And of course, you sign a secrecy agreement so that you're not allowed to go tell everybody that it's rigged. Of course, there's a gag order in place. So that's why there's not a shitload of players talking about it. But if you go look at some former players who have admitted that it's rigged, you can find those players. So it's not just Jake, crazy guy on the internet, saying this. These players, Dwight Smith, Larry Johnson, are two guys who are recognizable in the league, played long careers, and they've come out and admitted that it's rigged. And then you just have to watch the actual games and just pay attention, and you can see that these guys aren't playing football correctly. And so with Las Vegas in the NFL in cahoots with each other, they got no problem rigging this one so that Vegas and the NFL come out the winners. And so all the people who bet on the Rams to cover lost. So I saw a lot of people talking about, oh yeah, I lost on the Bengals. I wish I would have bet on the Rams. It's like, have you never heard of a point spread? It's like people who've never bet before show up to a Super Bowl party, and then they bet their friend $20, and they just disregard the point spread. So if you like showed up to a Super Bowl party and you had some guy talk you into taking the Bengals straight up for $20 or $50 or whatever, well, then you got robbed. You'd have been better off going on to Bovada or a sports betting site and getting yourself 4.5 points. So if you took the Bengals straight up and you didn't take the points, well, then yeah, you lost. TM 42023 says, how many billions for that new stadium in LA? Someone had to pay for it. Yeah, somebody had to pay for that new stadium. And they also needed to build that fan base because people in LA don't care that much about football. And so they have to like try and groom this fan base in LA to fill that new stadium. So it makes sense that they rigged it for LA. My thing was, I knew in my head that the game might be close and that 4.5 points might be the difference. And so I thought, okay, two things can happen. The Bengals can win by upset, or the Bengals can cover and still lose the game, but cover. And so I thought, all right, I got to take that 4.5 points. So I took the 4.5 points, but I wasn't confident. So I only bet $30. So I only won $30. So I'm not going to sit here and act like I broke the bank on that game. Today's stream is brought to you by raw milk. I drink raw milk. Guys like High Impact Flicks will be like, you need the 5 types of collagen, and you can get it from this bag of powder. Or guys like Richie from Boston will be like, order down below from my Patriot Food Supply, and you get these bags of powder. You're going to need to buy as much as you can possibly buy. You're going to want to trade in your child's college tuition. You're going to want to take out a personal loan for as many bags of my Patriot Food Supply as you can possibly buy. Meanwhile, I'm the only one that's like, raw milk, dudes. Raw milk. You don't see me promoting bags of powder. You know why? Because I'm not a fucking shill. Brian, Richie. Uh-oh. Someone in here just promoted rice milk. That's going to put you... That's going to get you put in a timeout. No promoting rice milk in my stream. Here's the thing. Rice doesn't have titties. So therefore, there's no such thing as rice milk. So take your rice water and shove it up your ass. Understand? So if you look at the fact that I'm the only truther channel, basically, that covers conspiracies, and I drink raw milk drink raw eggs, eat raw meat. So if you look at that fact, and then you look at the fact that those shill channels, not one of them will promote you a diet with lots of animal fat, protein, natural food. They won't promote that. No, they want you to eat bags of powder. And these are the mainstream guys, the mainstream conspiracy guys that get all those views and all those subs. So a guy like Richie, at one point on here on YouTube, had 400,000 subs. And this channel, shadow banned into oblivion, stuck at 40,000 subs. And then you look at my talent and my content versus Richie and Richie's talent, and you think, okay, how in the flying fuck did that fat, ugly loser get 400,000 subs? And meanwhile, my channel is stuck in shadow banned at 40,000. If I even get on a roll, they'll shut down the stream like they did earlier. So my channel gets shadow banned into oblivion, and old Richie with his bags of powder will still get tens of thousands of views. And he doesn't even tell you anything new or exciting. It's the same shit. It is the February of the 14th, or so I am told. I think so. I don't have a Valentine, but I am selling my truck. If you want to buy my truck, you can contact me below. But don't contact me if you don't want to buy my truck. I'm busy and I don't have time to talk to my own subscribers. But if you do want my truck, I am giving it away in a contest. So make sure to sign up for that. And there also will be a... So it's like I haven't seen him say or do anything, new in the last bunch of years. It's just the same old shit. And so I wonder, like, how is it that guy was able to grow his channel so damn big to even where it was at 400,000? Meanwhile, they have me shadow banned and stuck at 40,000. Me, a guy who's a lot more entertaining and a lot more funny and talks about a lot of different subjects, right? I get shadow banned into absolute oblivion. So when I see these shills get optimized and grow their channels to hundreds of thousands of subs, and meanwhile I can't break 40,000 because every time I go live or do this, they steal my subs away from me. And then every time I shut the camera off, they bury the video in search results so that nobody sees it after I shut the camera off. So while I'm streaming, I'll get hundreds of people watching. The minute I shut this thing off, they bury this. Is what happens. But anyway, I digress. At any rate, I digress. Jonna X with a donation says, could you please sing happy birthday to my sister Rose Bellman in Reno? Sure, I can. And I also emailed you about your private party as well that you wanted to hire me for. I emailed you as well. So this one's going out to Jonna X's friend Rose out in Reno, or her sister, to Jonna X's sister Rose out in Reno. And this one, I'm going to do a little jazzy. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Rose Bellman. Happy birthday to you. How old are you now? Just kidding. I don't want to know. How old are you now? Just kidding. How old are you now? How old are you now? All right. There you go. A special birthday shout out. And many more on Channel 4. There you go. A little encore. And happy birthday to anyone else whose birthday out there
might be. And guys, we have over 200 people watching and only 114 thumbs up. Can you guys do me a solid and smash the thumbs for me, please? It helps the algorithm and all that good stuff. Maybe they'll possibly promote this video. I doubt it because of all the controversial things I said and all the cuss words I used. But if you guys would do me a solid and smash that thumbs up, and if you do, if you guys do me the solid, we'll continue streaming along here. All right, come on, guys. I want to see 150 thumbs up at least. We got over 200 people watching, 228 people watching. Give me 150 thumbs up. Come on now. Yeah, see, if I talk about a bunch of conspiracies and I cuss a bunch, I expect YouTube to bury the content. It's just expected. But I've made videos where I purposely don't cuss and where I try and respect the algorithms, and then still shadow ban me and bury me. So they can kiss my fucking ass. YouTube, you hear that? You can kiss my ass, you sons of bitches. Promoting all those shill channels and then burying a real truther like me. Shit. Yeah, Chris says, everyone on this stream, just give it a thumbs up or I'll ban all of you. Yeah, what are you doing watching this stream and not giving me a thumbs up? Like, what, are you too cool for school? Now, some of you might be working and you might be busy, I understand. But if you are sitting in front of your computer watching me right now, come on, thumbs it up. All right. So, I don't know if you guys heard the news, but they're supposed to retire the International Space Station. They're going to retire the International Space Station in like 10 more years, I think. Let me check out the date. Okay, here it is. The International Space Station set to retire by crashing into the Pacific Ocean by 2031. According to NASA's estimates, the space station's operational life will come to an end with a controlled deorbit in January 2031. The hub for scientific research will be replaced by commercial space platforms. So I talked about this on my backup channel, the Jake Gibson channel, but I have yet to talk about it here over on the Asshole channel. So apparently in 2031, they're going to purposely crash the space station into the ocean. That's what they say they're going to do. They're going to purposely crash it into the ocean. And so instead of just like shooting it off out into the void of space where it can't possibly crash into the earth and hurt anyone, they're going to purposely bring it into the Earth's atmosphere and crash it into the Pacific Ocean purposely. It just seems like a strange thing to do for something that's already out there in outer space. It seems less dangerous if they were just to like thrust it out away from us, just send it out that way. But no, they're going to crash it. Seems strange. So apparently they're going to get rid of it in less than 10 years. So you guys got about 9 years or so to enjoy your International Space Station and all the wonderful scientific research they do up there. And then it's going to go. It's going to be sad, man. But apparently the Chinese space station is still going to be up there because there's a Chinese space station and an international space station. And the Chinese aren't talking about retiring their space station. And theirs looks worse than than the International Space Station. So the Chinese apparently are going to still be around with their horrible, decrepit space station
floating around looking absolutely ridiculous. And meanwhile, uh, the International Space Station's not going to be around. That's just weird. Now, do I think for a second that they're actually going to crash the International Space Station into the ocean? No. What I think's going to happen is they'll just drop like something maybe from a plane. You just drop like a piece of metal from a plane, or at this point you can just CGI the whole thing. You don't even need to drop a piece of metal from a plane and make it appear to splash in the ocean. I'll bet you with CGI technology, you could basically make a fake ISS crashing into the ocean and call that real. And the sheeple are going to believe it. Geoff Hennig says, Jake, maybe 40,000 is admirable. Maybe the audience numbers for the various shill channels that you mentioned are fabricated and are artificially jacked up. Maybe they have like 10,000 real people. Oh, they're artificially jacked up for sure. And so, for instance, my 40,000 number, they steal my subs. So when I finish this stream and check the sub numbers, they're going to have stolen between 20 and 50 subs from me just for doing this. So every time I post a video, they minus 20 to 50 subs every single time, no matter what. So they make it impossible for me to grow the channel. And so you can like say, oh, well, that's just 20 to 50 people just deciding they don't like you each day. No, it isn't. Each time I upload a video, it instantaneously minuses subs. And I've had returning subs say, Jake, this is the third time I've been unsubscribed from your channel. So when people say, this is the third time I've been unsubscribed from your channel, that means there's an active system removing my subscribers and down throttling my content. Meanwhile, I see other channels that are being promoted and pushed. For instance, there's this channel covering the Canadian convoy, and all he does is just post clips of the Canadian convoy. So he just posts clips of like 30 seconds of trucks honking their horns and people waving Canadian flags, and he's just going viral on every single video. So right now, I'll bet you this dude's just like making buckets of money because all he does all day long is just post clips of people honking their horns in Canada. And imagine if everything you posted went viral. Imagine you just take a 30-second clip of trucks honking their horns and then you put it on YouTube, and then YouTube's like 100,000 views. And then you go, okay, here's another 30-second clip. And they're like, 100,000. Wouldn't you just sit there all day and do that? Well, guess what? That's what people are doing. They're milking YouTube and the algorithm, and they're just getting hundreds of thousands and millions of views nonstop. And then when I try to do something like that, they're like, fuck you, shadow banned, and we're going to remove your subs. So I know exactly what it's like to want to have my video gain traction and get out there and be seen by people, want my information to get out there, and consistently see each video like just get shut down and shadow banned. Sometimes it'll start to pick up steam and go viral, but then somebody will hit you with a random a copyright strike. For instance, my NFL video that was going viral, where I had a player hit a fan that ran out on the field. I did a slow-mo breakdown. So somebody copyright struck my video just as it was going viral. Some random guy. So I had to fill out the copyright counter notification, and took 14 days for my video to get reinstated. Well, during that 14 days, I don't get any views or any revenue for that video. So by the time it gets reinstated, nobody gives a fuck about that video anymore because it's 14 days old. And so when I see the way that they screw my channel channel over, and then they promote guys like for instance, you see shill channels. Brian High Impact Flicks has like 500,000 subscribers. Like, yeah, right, dude. Richie from Boston had 400,000 subscribers. Yeah, right, dude. Jaronism, who runs the Baby Truther show, one of the most worthless shills, has 120,000 subs or whatever, and I can't break 40. Come on, dude. Waiting to Die says, I'd love to send you some tie-dyes, bro. P.O. Box. No, I don't have a P.O. box at the moment. I just have one of my family members as a mailing address, and I don't really want to give that out right now during the stream. So I appreciate you wanting to send me a tie-dye. I'll have to get a P.O. box in the future. All right, Kevin Chappelle says, we aren't here to hear about your channel, so now you've been hidden from the channel forever. Bye, bitch. Yeah, I know some of you guys don't care about that stuff, but basically it affects you because it affects me. So if YouTube goes out of their way to shadow ban this channel and less and less and less and less people see it, that's going to affect you because it's affecting me. All right? I'm going to talk about it. If the channel nearly gets shut down and I had to like fight strikes and I feel like telling you about it, well, then I'm going to. And if you don't like it, then you can go fucking piss off because I'm already getting shadow banned and YouTube's already unsubbing people. And so if you don't like me telling you about that, well, then you can fuck off too. I might have accidentally got a wrong guy. My bad. I accidentally hit a dude, and then I think he might have actually been a good buy or a good guy. Just don't be an asshole in the chat. I know you guys. Some people can't help themselves. Some people out there are losers, and so they like watch somebody who they don't like, and they make troll comments because they don't like me. But what does that say about you if you spend your free time watching me and you don't like me? Dragonfire says, how do you even get paid on here? Dragonfire, do you see that $50 super chat donation? Did you see all the rest of the super chat donations come in? I actually make the majority of my YouTube revenue through super chat donations. So when I run streams, I'll actually get a super chat donations like all the ones earlier, and that's how I'll make the majority. And then ad revenue comes in on the videos that are monetized. So if I make a video that's not too controversial and I can actually get it to be monetized, then it'll, depending how many views it gets, is how much money you'll make on your ads. So, for instance, I had this NFL video that I broke down. The dude who ran on the field and the player hit him. So I broke down this NFL video. It was going viral, got 20,000 views in 24 hours. And so I was breaking it down, this NFL video, or I broke down this incident. A fan ran out on the field and a player hit the fan. And so I was breaking down this incident. And so this video clip was a popular clip. And so a lot of people were looking it up in search results. I actually got optimized in the search result. And so I was the second search result for when you look up that particular clip. And so in 24 hours, I got 20,000 views. And that ad revenue alone was $75 for just that one day, just the one day. And so that's the video that got hit by a copyright strike by a random guy, which basically turns it into me losing a viral video and losing the ad revenue for 2 weeks. So I had to fight the copyright strike. I win the copyright strike, but 14 days, no views, no ad revenue on a video that was going viral. So imagine you have a video, gets 20,000 views, somebody hits it with a copyright strike. By the time it goes back up, now it's dead in the water. So even when I finally do have a video that starts to get views and traction, some random dude copyright strikes it. So I, of course, look at it like, okay, my channel's being attacked because I talk about conspiracies. I talk about all sorts of different conspiracies across the board, and I call out shills. So YouTube is going out of their way to bury me. And when I finally do have a video that makes it into a search result, some random dude copyright strikes the video. And so when I look at all these things happening to my channel, it's obvious when you're shadow banned. You can tell when videos that should be getting 10, 20,000 views are only getting 3 or 4,000. So basically, I don't want to like bore you guys with my frustrations with YouTube, but YouTube screws over truther channels big time. And then when I look at the stuff that they optimize, it's trash. They optimize absolute trash. And it makes me jealous sometimes to see guys who can upload trash and YouTube's like, here's buckets of money. Oh, you're going to upload a 30-second clip from Canada? Here's a bucket of money. And I'm like, fuck, I'll upload a 30-second clip from Canada. And then I do it, and they're like, fuck you, you don't get any money. You're not allowed to do that, Jake. So yeah, here's another thing. I'm learning how to use the OBS software so that I can improve these streams. I know that these streams can be a bit bland because I can't bring up pictures or videos or screen share. It's just me and the camera. And so I have been dragging my feet about using OBS, and I'm basically turning into a grandpa. Like, I don't know how to use this dang fangled technology. And so I'm watching some videos, learning how to use OBS. So I'm hoping next week I can start pulling up pictures and videos and screen sharing so that if I'm talking about something, I can actually show you pictures and video clips rather than just talk about it. And so my streams, I will admit, have probably not been as exciting as they could be. And so that's my fault for not using OBS software. So I plan on integrating the OBS software next week, within a couple weeks. I apologize for anybody who gets bored with these streams being too basic, because at times it is just me with the camera shooting my mouth off. And a lot of you guys might be used to seeing a bunch of computer animations and displays in live streams, and maybe you're getting bored and wanting to see me do more. And plus, I need to be able to bring on guests. So between me not having any guests and not having any pictures or videos or anything to show you during these live streams, I'm blaming myself for them being not quite as exciting as they could be. And I am looking into fixing that in the future. Dragonfire says, do you use a laptop, Jake? Yes. I have an old MacBook Pro, and I've been using the same laptop and a phone to do all my. So I use the phone when I make videos. So when you see me actually have an edited video with music in the background, and it looks actually like it's been worked on. That I do in my phone on iMovie. So I use iMovie app, and that's how I make my videos. Now, when I do these live streams, because I'm not using the OBS broadcast software, it's just raw camera, just the camera, just raw footage going. Uh, so the reason I started doing it this way is because when I was trying to like run a stream and stay on topic, sometimes I would get frustrated, or I would lose my train of thought, and so I never did really get good at using OBS and the software. And so now I haven't used it for so long. It's like I forgot how to even use any of it. So I have to go back and reteach myself how to use the software. But here's the plan. Within the next week or two, I'm just gonna fuss with it and maybe do a little trial and error. So I'll probably the first few times I use it not be very good at it. But I have the money to buy a one of those microphones that sits here, and I have the money to buy all the equipment and the shit to improve the stream. It comes down to me just to stop being lazy and dragging my feet. So eventually I'm gonna get these streams to improve, and it won't just be me, one dude, shooting my mouth off the whole time. And I'd also like to bring you guys in with some phone calls. So if I can get like a little burner phone and start taking phone calls, doing live chat with you guys as far as actually talking with you. I've seen on other channels, Pat Truthner's had some good results with that, and so has IPS. They've had good results talking to their audience. So I had a super chat donation from Randy watching Bush. He says, "Keep it up." Thank you, Randy, watching Bush. I appreciate that. Chris7582 says, "I don't mind just talking. It's not going to change rapidly. Like, I'm not going to like overload you guys with a bunch of computer animations and stupid crap. But it would be nice to just have, like if I want to talk about, like, let's say, rocks that look like elephants, then I can pull up a couple pictures here and we can discuss it. Or if I want to say, is lava a hoax? Then we can watch like a video of a volcano erupting while we're talking, rather than if it's just me talking, you have to visualize all of it. Now I know a lot of you guys probably listen to these streams when you're on long car trips or when you're working, so maybe you don't mind it's just me talking in the background. And so if I'm just talking in the background, then of course you're not going to notice. But I really do think we're going to improve the streams uh, quite drastically when I pull my head out of my own ass and stop being lazy. So really what it is, I told myself like last year that I need to use OBS and that I want to do call-ins and stuff. And so it comes down to me just being lazy and not doing it. And so I need to fix that problem and uh, go buy all the shit. You know what it really is I have to buy the shit and then learn how to use the shit. And so that right there is like something I'm always like, I'll do that tomorrow. I don't want to have to go buy the shit and then learn how to use the shit. But tomorrow, I can't keep putting it off till tomorrow forever. So basically, I'm just gonna have to go buy the shit and update the stream, and I think it will improve the whole experience. With that said, all right, let's go ahead and move on. What else did I want to talk about? Oh yeah, I mentioned this over on the Jake Gibson channel, my backup channel. Have you noticed there's a big push to move to Florida? A lot of people say move to Florida, move to Florida. Well, if you look at that, like that penis shape, like Florida's got that kind of a penis shape going on, right? If you look at the location of Florida, if all us anti-VA double Xers, all of us anti-maskers were to start moving to Florida, or the majority of us, what they basically can then do is then cut us off at the border and then be like, there, we got all you anti-vaxxers and all you anti-maskers locked in. So basically we can trap ourselves in the penis of Florida. So if you think about it, like it actually would be it would be part of the elite's plan to get us all to move over to one state. All you anti-VA double Xers, all you people that don't want to wear a mask, go move to Florida. Then we can seal you off at the border, and now all of you are stuck there in Florida, down there at the bottom of the map in the United States, right? So now you can't escape. Where are you going to go? Cuba? Mr. Chris7582 says, here's some extra money for the shit you're talking about buying. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that. It's basic stuff. Like you see all the other pro YouTubers with a microphone and stuff. And this is for singing. This one right here is not meant for YouTubing and streaming. This is for singing. And see, I have a PA set up right over here. See, like right there, I have this PA speaker. And so since I have this speaker set up, this is basically like a singing setup rather than a streaming setup. And so I just basically need to buy some basic equipment and just set up more like an actual a pro YouTuber. And I've been dragging my feet on it, so I just need to do that. But thank you. I appreciate that, the donations, you guys. I really do. So yeah, as I was saying with Florida, I hear a lot of people like, come to Florida. We don't have any mandates. It's great. Yeah, get out of commie California and come to Florida. Well, eventually these rules are going to show up to Florida. You think Florida's just going to stay magical and commie-free forever? The New World Order takes over the whole world. It's not like they just take over Canada and Australia, but then they leave us alone in the United States, or they only take over commie California, but then they leave you cool people in Florida alone forever. So you got to consider that maybe they want you to relocate to Florida. Maybe it's part of the elite's plan that they want you, me, us troublemakers, us people who stand for freedom. They want us all in the same state together so they can keep track of us easier. See? Let's see. Oh yeah, and then speaking of the football game, there's a lot of people that like to talk about Gematria, and they like to say that, oh, the Bengals are going to win because it's the year of the Tiger, or the Rams are going to win because, you know, if you type in this into a Gematria calculator, it comes out to be 33, and if you type in this, it comes out to be 66. So you have guys out there claiming that they can predict outcomes of games with Gematria. Meanwhile, you don't have any of these losers actually show you proof of them going to Las Vegas and winning buckets of money. So you have this shill, Zach Hubbard, who claims he's Mr. Sports Gematria. And what he doesn't do is predict the winner of the game and tell you who to go bet on. And so he doesn't actually tell you for sure who's going to win and what the for sure score is going to be. But he likes to pretend that he's Mr. Gematria Master who can predict all this stuff. And so my thing is that I say to these Gematria shills is, show me a video of you going to Las Vegas and dumping all your money on the table and making a sports bet against the spread. And then when you win, yes, show me you collecting your bucket of money in Las Vegas. If you don't show me you collecting your money, then I'm not going to believe you. So show me you making the bet and show me you becoming a millionaire. So you have guys like Zach Hubbard, Gematria Sports and stuff, who calls people like me a shill because I talk about the flat earth. Yet this fucking shill isn't even a millionaire, and he claims that he can see into the future and he knows which team's going to win. yet he's not a millionaire. He can't show you a video of him walking out of a casino with a bucket full of cash, even though he claims to have this magical Gematria calculator. Oh, yes. Noni92 says Zach does tell game results in his Patreon. Don't know the win percentage, though. No, he gives you his picks. He doesn't tell you the results. You think if you join his Patreon, you're going to find that he predicts every single game correctly? No, I guarantee you that's not the case. Otherwise, he would go to Vegas and be a millionaire. He wouldn't be worried about you joining his Patreon. There are sports bettors who are legit in on the know and who win often. And you know what happens? They get banned from betting. And so then they have to find someone else to take that money and go bet for them. They get banned from the betting sites to where the betting site won't take the bet anymore. So then they have to create a new profile and go buy a new phone to make a bet. So real professional sports gamblers, and I've seen real professional sports gamblers, not in person, but I've seen videos of guys who actually do it for a living. And they say when you get real good and you make real money and you get games right, that they won't take your money on the gambling sites anymore, or they'll limit you to only betting $1. And so I know what it's like to see guys get limited to $1 or get kicked out of casinos because they win too much. Zach Hubbard isn't one of those dudes. Zach Hubbard says flat earth is fake, and he'll go as far as to tell you guys like me or agents and shills. Meanwhile, he'll claim he's going to predict your Super Bowl and all these games with Gematria, but he wants you to join Patreon and pay to see his picks. Just like every other sports guy who wants you to pay to see their picks. Noni92 says Gematria is not BS, but I don't think every single this is coded like Zach says. Well, here's why Zach is a scam artist, is because you can type in anything to a Gematria calculator and get numbers. And he'll be like, oh, well, Tom Brady was born on this day, and also my grandmother queefed 66 days ago. So because Tom Brady was born 33 years from this date, which also coincides with when my grandmother queefed, and also if you type in 666 along with George Bush's mom has a hairy, stinky vagina, you'll come to find out that it comes out to 33333, and that, of course, is also a number. So therefore, Bengals might win. The Bengals might win because 6663333. Oh, and I am 38 years old, which is also a number. So because I'm 38 years old, and because I live on a street which has an address, and my address is 1245 Pine Street, and pines are also a type of tree. And if you type in pine tree into a Gematria calculator, it also comes out to 6666. And also because my grandma queefed 666 days ago, therefore that means the Bengals might win. And if you are from Cincinnati, you're probably going to be rooting for the Bengals. And so they probably might win. That's the type of shit Zach does on his channel. Literally, he just says numbers over and over again until you're confused, and then he tries to make that out like it matters. It comes down to whatever numbers and whatever shit he decides to put into his calculator. You understand that? So if you put Los Angeles in the calculator, you're going to get a number. If you put Bengals in the calculator, you're going to get a number. Put Rams in there, you're going to get a number. Put Bengal Rams. Put Los Angeles Bengal Rams in the calculator as one word, and you're going to get a number. And so if you can extrapolate anything with these numbers. And so Zach Hubbard is a bullshit scam artist who literally just throws numbers out there and then tries to tell you to join his Patreon to get his sports picks. You guys realize if I was a scumbag scam artist, I would be better than all these guys combined. You're actually all fucking lucky that I'm a good guy. You're all really fucking lucky that I'm a shill or not a shill. Damn it. If I was going to be a shill, I'd be a better shill, is what I'm trying to say. If I wanted to be a shill, I'd be a better shill than all these guys. I could totally be like, buy my bag of powder, join my Patreon for my sports picks. I'm going to type in the Gematria calculator, get 20% off my Patriot food supply. I could totally outshill all these dudes if I was a shill. If I was a shill, dude, I could totally take all the best qualities from all these existing shills and sex it together to create the ultimate shilliest shill. You guys are lucky that I'm not going to do that and that I'm a good guy. If I didn't have a soul and I was a piece of shit like these shills who I talk about, like Jaronism or David Weiss, Brian High Impact Flicks, and Richie from Boston, RV Truth. If I was one of these shitty shill bags, I could easily take all their best routines and sex them together, and I'd probably easily be a millionaire. Seems that the shills get taken care of very well. And then guys like me get shadow banned and buried. Femalien says you're 4 times more likely to be 3 times more likely to do something than you are 5 times more likely to do something. Indeed. And so, let's bring it back around. Are we trapped inside a giant computer simulation? Is there a giant computer involved controlling our daily lives? Are we really even in control of our own lives in this super video game? Or is everything predetermined? Is your own life predetermined? Or can you wake up and do something completely out of the ordinary that you wouldn't normally do just to prove that it's not predetermined? Because if somebody says, well, everything happens for a reason and everything's predetermined. Oh, yeah? Well, then why am I going to do this? Was that predetermined? Was that right there predetermined? And if so, why? Why did I do that just to ask if it's predetermined? So if the world is predetermined, then that means I can just do something completely crazy and wacky that doesn't make any sort of sense, and that was predetermined. It's a predetermined moment that happened for a reason, even though I don't know why. And I'm talking into a microphone that I don't even have turned on.
Sometimes I'll just pretend to talk into the microphone. George Carlin had a joke that's similar, where he says, I'm going to say something that no one's ever said before. Honey, let's begin taking opium rectally, sell the kids, and move to Zanzibar and shove a hot poker up our ass. No one's ever said that before. I'm the first person to ever say that. And so, when you're the first and only person to ever say or do anything, it's kind of a weird deal to think like, holy shit, I'm the first person who ever said those words in that order. No other human being ever thought to do that. In fact, nobody might ever say those words ever in that exact order. So here in this certain simulation, this computer simulation, if you will, I am the one lucky individual that said those words in that exact order at that exact time, and nobody else will ever do that. But I did it purposely, so that I would be different from the robots. All right. Andy RB says that hat doesn't fit you. You mean it doesn't fit my personality, or it doesn't fit me like on my head? It fits on my head. You mean it doesn't fit my personality? You don't like it? I wanted to switch it up today because I cleaned out some old boxes of shit that I needed to go through and reorganize and throw stuff away. And so I found some of my old hats. So if you don't like this one, I can change it. There. How's that? How's that for you? Look at this one. It's money. See? This one's $100 bills. There we go. How's that for you? If you don't think that this fits me, well, ask and you shall receive. All right. Steve DeCipio says, I can't say what I think this place is. It always gets censored. Go for it, Steve. Tell us what you think this place is, and hopefully you don't get censored. Meanwhile, if you guys are still having fun and enjoying this stream, smash that thumbs up. Smash the thumbs up for your boy. And again, this stream is brought to you by Raw Milk. Moo! Metal Mickey says, this place is HE double hockey sticks. Yeah, I've heard that theory that we live inside hell and the only way out is death. And so it's kind of a scary, morbid thought to think that the cure to getting out of this shitty, hellacious world around us is to kill yourself. What if that's the secret to life, is that you're supposed to kill yourself and get the hell out of here? Get the hell out of hell. What if, like, if you kill yourself and then you get to the other side and then all these magical beings and all this awesome stuff's there to greet you, like, awesome, you figured it out. Cool. Congratulations. You got out of hell. We're glad you made it. And let's say if you don't kill yourself, then you're doomed to repeat it over and over again. But no, nobody wants to think that that might be true. You don't want to think that this place is hell and killing yourself is a way out. No, that's a morbid thought. That's a morbid thought that's bad, makes you feel icky. Nah, dark inside. No way, man. Nobody wants to think about that. And then whether or not you get judged. Are you going to be judged for this life or not? Because living by a bunch of morals and standards, well, it's going to piss me off if no one does judge me. So if I actually live this life with morals and standards and trying to be a good guy, and then at the end of it all, I don't get rewarded or judged, well, then it's going to make me wish that I didn't do all that shit, maybe. Like, man, maybe I should have sold my soul and been a total heathen. So I'm hoping that all this being a good guy, telling the truth, having morals and whatnot, I'm hoping that this somehow rewards me in the end, like I'm told. I hope. Doc Who K9 says, absolutely, Earth is a simulation. Some players know it. They know the BUVs, the BUVs. Maybe you misspelled the word. He said, absolutely, Earth is a simulation. Some players know it. They know the BUVS. Loves? Huh. The hacks, the way to win, just like a game, fear nothing, do as you want people, including ridding Earth of evil. Well, according to some people out there, the devil is the good guy. And mistreating people and being evil is the key to happiness. So according to the evil people, doing a bunch of evil shit is what is the key to happiness. So I often wonder if I'm just doing it all wrong and if I should have just been a bad guy instead. But I think it's too late. I don't think I'm allowed to go be a bad guy now. I think I've already been too much of a good guy that the bad guys don't even want me in their club. I think if I went to go be a bad guy, they'd be like, screw you. You told the truth too many times. We don't trust you. Get out of here, you good for nothing good guy. I'd be like, no, I want to be a bad guy now, like you guys. I want to sell my soul. They're like, we don't want your soul. You're too damn good. We don't trust you. We think you're going to tell people our Illuminati secrets. I probably would. I'm that type of dude that I would be like, you know what? I'm going to go be a bad guy. And then they would tell me their Illuminati secrets. And then I would be like, oh, never mind. I don't want to be a bad guy anymore. I'm going to go back to being a good guy. And I'm going to tell all your secrets to all the good guys. See? That's what happened to me. I would join the bad guys just so I could steal their secrets and then come here and divulge them. Now they don't like big mouths like me. Guys like me who run my mouth and have morals and standards, care about being a good person, has a soul, all that stuff. Yeah, they don't like guys like me. No, they don't. Retro Bill with a donation says, in case you are not rewarded in the afterlife, here's a little contribution in this one. Oh, thank you very much, Retro Bill. I appreciate that. I do believe I will be rewarded in the afterlife. Again, when I had my experience smoking DMT, I believe I channeled the afterlife or what the afterlife should be like. And so I believe I have been there already. And so I don't think I'll be too shocked when I return. However, I might be wrong. It might be a whole different realm that I go to. Who knows? All right. PJC Net says, you did, Jake. It sounds like you astral projected. Well, I hallucinated and had a trip, as everyone pretty much does who smoked that stuff. But I also actually physically did something that most people don't do. I jumped into the river and went for a swim while I was on my trip. So a good portion of the trip, like I was swimming in the water. And let me tell you what, hallucinating on DMT and swimming at the same time in actual water is one hell of an experience. I wish I had the words to even describe it to you. But the problem with experiences such as hallucinating on DMT and swimming and dying and turning into God and figuring out how everything works in the snap of a finger, the problem with it is once it wears off, then you come back to this flesh suit and you're stuck trying to describe the most miraculous thing that ever happened to you with words. And it can be quite a challenge to find the right words besides like, it was crazy, it was amazing. It's like words don't quite describe the type of shit you see and feel at that level. And so maybe some of you have had a psychedelic experience on mushrooms or acid where you hallucinate and trip to a point and you have feelings that are such that you can't quite describe them with regular words. You can get to that point and actually experience such human emotions and such intense, intricate thought that you won't even be able to properly describe it to anyone, which sucks because you'll want to. Like I want to tell you guys what it was like to turn into God on DMT and go swimming, but there's no words in the English vocabulary that will properly convey what the hell happened to me. And if you go smoke it, you're going to have something probably a little different happen to you. So you won't even be able to reenact what exactly happened to me. Okay. Mr. Chris7582 with a donation says, I have been to DMT World 2. Feels more real than reality. I really believe it to be the afterlife. I think the truth is we are gods and they want to steal our true power by taking our souls forever. Good point, sir. So when you smoke DMT, it is not like an acid trip or a mushroom trip. You are actually in a different reality, and that different reality is real. And it's so real, you won't even be able to have somebody explain to you that you just smoked a drug. That won't even matter. In fact, when I was fully tripping out on this stuff, if you were to be like, Jake, calm down, you're just on a drug, I wouldn't listen to you or believe you. That I wouldn't even consider that a thought. And so basically you can be so enthralled in your own hallucination and your own trip that you won't even be able to remember that you smoked the stuff. And nobody around you will be able to convince you or talk you down by saying, hey, calm down, you're just on a trip because you smoked some DMT. That won't work. You will literally be in an alternate universe and you won't even quite understand how you got there. I remember tripping so hard, not even understanding how the hell it happened. Like, how did I get here? And it wasn't till I finally this stuff wore off that I was like, oh yeah, I smoked that shit. That's what happened. All right, we got a donation. Oh God, I can see where this is going. Got a donation from Retro Bill. Says, I wonder what it sounds like when Elmo is tripping. Oh boy. Let's see here. Let's see if I can find this imitation inside my body.
Elmo feels weird. Elmo thinks that the walls are melting. Elmo can see the walls melting. Oh, Elmo's scared. Elmo thinks he maybe sees God. Oh, God's mad at Elmo. Elmo is tripping balls right now. Elmo did not expect to trip balls.
I don't know. Something like that. Jordan Daniel says, dude, I'm going to let my baby nephew listen to this. He loves Elmo. Yeah, let him listen to the whole stream. It's very educational. When he gets to that one Elmo part, I'm sure he'll understand. The other night, I can't remember if it was over here on this channel or if it was over on the Jake Gibson channel, but I did Elmo versus Macho Man Randy Savage. I can't remember if it was over here or on the backup channel, but basically somebody asked for Macho Man versus Elmo, and so I was like,
"Let me tell you something, you little puppet boy. You got somebody with their hand up your backside controlling all your thoughts and all your words, little man. If you were to step in the ring with the Macho Man, I would show you what a puppet you really are."
Elmo will kick your ass. Elmo will take his elbow and he will drop the elbow from the top rope on you.
"You better not steal my elbow. The elbow is my move. It's from the Macho Man's repertoire. You better not steal my elbow."
Elmo's gonna do the elbow. Elmo's gonna drop an elbow on Macho Man. And then I'm gonna get the pin 1, 2, 3.
"Well, you got another thing coming. If you want to step into the ring with the Macho Man, then you better step into a Slim Jim. Oh, yeah."
Elmo doesn't like Slim Jim. Slim Jim tastes like shit.
there you go. There's a little Elmo versus Macho Man. Also, yeah, my backup channel is called Jake Gibson. Make sure you subscribe to the backup channel. I stream over there half the time. So I stream over here sometimes. I stream over there sometimes. So if you want to make sure you're catching all the streams and all the content, you want to be subscribed to both channels. I do that to make sure I have a second place to go in case this channel ever gets struck down or gets a hit with a strike to where I can't post for a week or two. Then that means I'll be over on the backup channel. And so make sure you're subbed to both channels, of course. And they unsub people and shadow ban people. So I'm not sure if it's going to matter, but like, share, and sub,
Or don't. Like, share, subscribe, or don't. At any rate, I digress.
It's like, hey, Richie, at what rate should somebody digress? Is there a proper rate at which somebody should digress? Have you ever heard Richie say,
At a specific rate, I don't think I'm going to digress. I'm not going to digress at a specific rate.
no, he's always at any rate has to digress. So apparently digressing can happen at any rate, but you don't want to not digress at a specific rate. That, of course, would be bad. All right.
It is the 15th of February or so, we're told. I'm in a subscriber's house right now in Virginia. It is really cold out there. I'm trying to sell my truck. If you want to buy my truck, then message me down below. But if you don't, then don't message me down below. What you need to do is get right with God, most of all. And then order as much of My Patriot food supply as you possibly can. The supermarkets are going to be empty before you know it. You're going to wish you had bags of My Patriot food supply.
It's like, hey, Richie, where are you keeping all your bags of Patriot food supply? Are you telling me, Richie, that you have like just a room in your house just full of Patriot food supply? So you have a room dedicated to just nothing but powder in your house, Richie? Justin Williams says RFB is the new Alex Jones. No, Alex Jones is still Alex Jones. They just have more characters out there in case you don't prefer Alex Jones. So they have Brian Impact Flicks and they have Richie, and they have RV Truth out there, in case you don't prefer Alex Jones. But what they don't want you to do is listen to Jake the asshole. They'd much rather you listen to one of their controlled gatekeepers than me. Dragonfire says, honestly, if you was Jesus, would you return? Last visit didn't go so well, and today's world is far more fucked up. Yeah, if you were Jesus and you came back, you could totally look just like him and be dressed in a robe, and you could perform a miracle, and still people wouldn't believe it's him and wouldn't care. They would tell him to wear a mask. They'd be like, put your mask on, Mr. Jesus. Or have you been triple jabbed yet, Mr. Jesus? All right, if you don't get quadruple jabbed, Mr. Jesus, then we don't want your kind around here. Jordan Daniel says Jones is the real deal compared to RFB. No, that's not true. They both tell a little bit of truth, some basic conspiracy truth, but for the most part, they're controlled. And I've seen Alex Jones do some super shilly shit. So Alex Jones shows up to like the controlled protests, and he's always like,
Nonviolence. Make sure we do this with nonviolence. All right. We're going to sit here and we're going to protest, but we're going to do it with nonviolence. Don't do anything violent. If the police come up and punch you in the face, you're just going to have to accept it. All right. We don't want to do anything violent. Okay.
So he'll show up to a protest so that everyone's like, rah, 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 Alex Jones. Yay, Alex Jones is here. And he'll be like,
that's right. We're going to fight back against these globalists. Let them know that we're here. We're going to let these globalists know that we're here. We're going to make our voices heard. But with nonviolence, we don't want to do anything that will actually remove these tyrants. We just want to let them know that we're here.
Rich Kielbasa says, did I miss any epic bass? No, I haven't actually broke out the bass today. Sitting over here. Maybe before I shut down, I'll throw down a little bass. Oh, also, the guy from Alex Jones' show, I think he was the dude who had the what's it called? Oh God. He was at the Capitol. The guy who was at the Capitol with the fucking Viking hat. I think that's Alex Jones' co-host guy. God, I'm forgetting their names off the top of my head. I hate when I have a brain fart and I can't remember the names. So Viking hat guy. It looks like it's Alex Jones' co-host guy. What's his face? Troyer. Owen Troyer. So Owen Troyer, the Alex Jones InfoWars co-host guy, he apparently is the Viking helmet guy. It totally like dead on looks like the same exact dude. No, I missed the all gas no brakes interview with the Viking guy. The shaman, I guess they're calling him. So yeah, if you look at a picture of that dude, and then you look at a picture of or Troyer, what's his name? I just said it. Owen Troyer. It looks like the same dude. And so we live in a world of deepfakes. So nothing surprises me anymore. So if Alex Jones is former comedian Bill Hicks, and Eminem is being played by an imposter, Dave Chappelle being played by an imposter, then, why wouldn't they have this shaman guy be one of Alex Jones' right-hand men? Makes sense to me. But it's also right up there with saying that, that the dude who kneeled on, that Chauvin, the guy who kneeled on Floyd's head, is the guy from the Taxi Driver show or whatever, the Taxi game show. They do look exactly like each other, but can you prove that they're the same exact dude? You guys remember that when Chauvin was said to be the guy from this like taxi game show or whatever? And then when you look up the picture, it's like, oh, those are pretty much the same dude. It's kind of like that a situation with Will Ferrell and what's it called? And Chad Smith from the Chili Peppers. They might just be dudes who look really similar. And then you have the basketball player that looks exactly like Floyd. So the basketball player, fucking, God, now his Jackson is looks exactly like George Floyd. Steven Jackson, right? Basketball player, looked exactly like him. So when you just look at all these coincidences, it's obvious that this shit is scripted and they're deep faking the funk out of us. They are deep faking the funk out of us. Retro Bill says we all exist in Jake's mind. Be nice to him because if he goes, we all go. I actually had that thought when I had my DMT experience that I am God. You are all a part of my mind, and when I go, the world goes. But then I thought that that's just too narcissistic. That can't be true. But it's funny that you posted that and you sent a donation saying that, because that's actually a thought that occurred to me while I was in a DMT trip coming out of it, that when I die, I'm taking all you guys with me. It's all over. When I go, this whole existence is done. But that seems extremely narcissistic, so I try not to go around telling people that. David Menny says they are underground, not an island. Underground, messing with little kids. Hey, I definitely believe there's some shisty, crazy stuff going on underground. I definitely believe there are cloning labs and sacrifices for children and ritual abuse and sacrifices involving children and people being hurt and murdered, executed, all that stuff. For sure. For sure. Logic, XX Logic XX says, I do believe there are a lot of NPCs in this world, though. There definitely are. In fact, over on the Jake Gibson channel, the backup channel, I have a video called Close Encounter with a Zombie. And I was at a rest stop one time, and I found this lady who had on a plastic visor, and she had on like regular glasses. So she had her glasses on, she had a plastic visor on, and she was double masked. And then she was walking around this rest stop like a zombie. And some of you guys might know the video I'm talking about. So I actually followed her for a minute, and I was like, look at this zombie. Holy crap. Like, this person is just wandering around at a rest stop for no reason. So it's a lady by herself
wandering around at a rest stop, just basically like walking around this rest stop in a circle. And she was like walking basically like a zombie. And I remember just thinking, like, how is this a person? How can a person go to a rest stop with a plastic visor and 2 masks on and walk around in circles? Like, who does that and why? How can that be there for any other reason than for me to walk upon and make fun of? Like, it was too zombie-ish for it to be anything other than an NPC. In fact, it's what led me down the NPC pathway. I was like, okay, yep, there are zombie NPCs now walking amongst us. And so I never, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, would have ever seen a person with a plastic visor, double masked, walking around like a zombie and ever had that thought. But now I live in a world where I actually have to think if people are NPCs and zombies. Either one or. And then you look at all the Hollywood movies about us fighting zombies or having a zombie apocalypse, humans versus zombies. It's all the Hollywood movies. It's like foreshadowing. All right, y'all. So we made it through this stream. Let me go ahead and pop off some bass jam before I go. Maybe play a little funky bass lick before we shut this thing down. Woo! Hold on, Rusty. I'll take you out in just a minute. I'm going to play a bass jam, Rusty, and then we'll go. All right.
Right. Oh, thank you. All right, y'all. I like to thank y'all for watching. Thank everyone who donated and supported, typed in a comment. Even if you did not donate, you did not participate in the chat. If you're just standing around doing something, listening to me, thank you too. Thank each and every one of you who joined me today from the bottom of my heart. I hope you take something from this stream, apply it to your life, and make something positive out of it. So until next time, this is your favorite asshole, Jake the Asshole, the one and only asshole. And I will see you guys next time. Good night, everyone. Take care.